For clear-cut chances that we have to put them away. To win consistently in this league, when you are in those moments, you have to kill the game. We didn't. We left the game open, and then in the second half, straight away we started give too many balls away, concede too many long throws and corners, and the game was really disturbed. We never got the momentum that we got in the first half.
Sometimes football is like this, you create, we play good, but you don't score, you don't win the games. It's hard, it's difficult, hurt, but what we can do now is past. We have to realize, wake up and improve and come back.
We had a few issues in the beginning with the shape, and we changed the shape and it was much better, but still not to defend everything. So still try to be brave with the ball and play through the lines. In some moments we did it well. Also in the first half we had some good moments, but in the second half it was much better. And in the end, you have to say, after the equaliser, you had that feeling that we had them in the ropes. It was a fantastic atmosphere, and we were really fighting for everything.
I was thinking that maybe if you're going to get an equaliser, it would come from a set piece or a corner. You had a few of those. But in fact, it's a brilliant move from the left-back position in front of your own corner flag almost.
Yeah, well, that's what it was about. It was about defending deep, and we knew we could threaten on the counter, and the goal did come from that, and it was excellent work by Moy. Slipped in a lovely ball, and very happy with the finish.
No complaints. This is football, and I think we're really good in the first half and controlled totally the game and created big chances that we didn't put again. And in the Premier League, unfortunately, when you don't do that, when you are on top of the game, you can pay the price. And in the second half, we had some difficulties. I think we put ourselves in problems. The amount of giveaways that we had, especially in ball possession, that we didn't allow us to control the game the way we wanted. And their direct play and long throws and set plays disrupted a lot the game. And yeah, we tried to react after the 1-1. And still, I think in the second half, the two biggest chances were ours, but we didn't put them away.
There's a couple of penalty shouts in there, weren't there? Especially one for Gabby or Jesus at 1-0. If that gets given, it might be a lot different. Do you have a view on that?
I don't know. I don't want to comment on that. I want to see the images before I do that.
Okay. What do you put it down to that your team are starting well and then sort of fading away as the games go? Do you think that's tiredness from the Thursday night, or is it something else?
I think we stopped doing all the simple things right. I think the distance on this in ball possession were too far. We gave so many balls away in very dangerous areas and without much pressure on it, and that didn't allow us any continuity like we have in the first half. And then, yeah, you are more tired because the game becomes more open and there's more transitions and you are more fatigued. But I think we finished again the game on top of them, and we tried to go for the second goal, but we didn't find a way to do it.
Do you think there was any one thing that sort of started causing your team to start giving the ball away? Because obviously it was such a good start, and then it seemed to come out of nowhere as they sort of fell away.
No, it was consequence one thing after the other, and we didn't stop it quick enough.
It's 5 games now for Gabriel Jesus without goal. Is that a slight concern? He obviously had chances today. He started the season so well, but is he lacking a little bit of confidence for the first time?
Well, I'm sure today he will be disappointed because he had the chances to put them away, and knowing Gabi, he's disappointed when he scores 2 goals and he can score 3 or 4, so I can do that. But he is having the chances, he's always there. He gave us so much to the team, and yeah, it was a shame that today he didn't put those away.
Mikel, is there a sort of feeling that maybe the squad depth, I know no one's getting carried away at Arsenal about you having been top, still are top, but is there any suggestion that the squad depth isn't quite there when you're playing games, you're still playing Thursday?
We have the same that we had a month ago, 2 days ago, and we're going to have next week. So I don't like to find any excuse. I think today, the second half, we could have played much better and win the game much more comfortably, and we didn't, and it's completely down to us with the players that we have.
Sam?
Mikel, I think I'm right in saying that 8 players have started every Premier League game. Is there a sense that you might need to freshen it up at all with the coming few games?
Well, that means that then they haven't played other games. I think the team look, especially at the start, really fresh. So to fail, or the second half or the last minutes, it's more to the way we play. I put it there. We should have played better the second half.
Okay, finally you come in.
It's just 2 wins after the last 7 trips to St Mary's. What do you think makes this ground very difficult to play at?
But it's very difficult to win the Premier League at home and away.
Well, that was a game of 2 halves, wasn't it?
Well, it was. I mean, Southampton had to stick together in that first half because they were under the cosh from Arsenal. They had to defend well. Arsenal created chances, but for good defending and good goalkeeping, really. Last-ditch tackles, which they had to do. They didn't collapse. As I said, they conceded the goal. They got men behind the ball, and Arsenal played some good stuff in that first half. But if it wasn't for this, as I said, that sticking together and the togetherness, relying on the goalkeeper here, that's a good save. Defenders first there to get rid of it. I mean, what about this for a tackle from Elyounoussi? They changed it second half, went to more of a 3 at the back, Southampton, and then they got together. Then they weren't phased. They grew into that second half, started passing the ball, and they created 1 or 2 chances themselves. And the goal that they got, it starts from the goalkeeper. It's a really, really well worked goal. The pass, the little over there, then all of a sudden they're into the back 4 of Arsenal. Just have a look at where Armstrong comes from. Elyounoussi was so impressive, particularly second half. We saw him with that unbelievable tackle, and then the weight of pass there to Armstrong. Watch the way he runs past 5 or 6 Arsenal players there into the space. He spots it, and it's a really clever finish. And Southampton did really well there. They deserved the point for their performance in the second half.
Elyounoussi is great, isn't he? Hasenhüttl said afterwards he's got no idea how many positions he's played for him because he is so versatile, and that tackle on Gabriel Jesus completely changed the game.
Did.
Yeah, and sometimes we've played in games before where you're struggling a bit to get into it as a team, and one big moment like a tackle like that, a last-ditch tackle, or one big, coming together where it changes the momentum, the stadium changes, the atmosphere, the feeling that you get changes, and sometimes it swings in your favour, as I think it did for Southampton.
It's not a bad point for Arsenal, is it? No. I mean, as Arteta and Gabriel Jesus said afterwards, that is football. There is a danger to overreact when they don't win because of the start.
I don't think there's any reason to overreact. They played well in the first half. They didn't in the second half, and Southampton came back into it. You have to accept that. You take a point and you move on.
Yeah, exactly. I don't think that they aren't. Who said that they're going to win all the games? They've had a little bit of a setback, a minor setback. They still got a draw. They've had a good start to the season. It's no big deal for them.
But as I say, Arsenal dropping points for just the second time all season. They're still 2 points clear at the top of the Premier League, having taken the lead at St Mary's away at Southampton. And at this stage, Lee, you didn't really have any concerns, did you?
No, they started the game really, really well on the front foot. Southampton playing quite a defensive game to begin with, but Ben White, who's been playing at right back, beautiful pull back to Xhaka on his weaker right foot, doesn't look weak from that angle, catches it right on the half volley, and it's a beautiful work goal. And at that point you just think they're going to go on. They were pushing Southampton back, but then this happened. When the ball comes all the way over, there's just a little bit of ball watching. Armstrong, a big deep run from midfield, unchallenged in the box, and there's no chance for the goalkeeper. And it was just at this point Arsenal started to drop back a little bit, and it could quite have easily gone the other way. And I think Mikel will be disappointed going into this game that they didn't take all 3 points. Bit similar to last week, up front in the first half, second half just pegged back a little bit.
OK, well, let's get the views then of the Arsenal manager. Here's what he said after the game, Mikel Arteta.
Mikel, it's another point, but are you a bit frustrated it wasn't more today?
Yes, I am, especially with the big chances that we created. The way we started and played the first half, the game should have been in a different position, but credit to Southampton as well, the way they came out the second half. We weren't as clean and as consistent on the ball as we were in the first half. We started to concede a lot of long throws, set plays, disrupt our game, and despite that, I think we created the 2 biggest chances again in the second half. It wasn't enough to win the game, unfortunately.
When you look back to when you had the lead in the first half, can you put your finger on why it was that you just couldn't find that second or that third?
To put the ball in the net. I think we had the big chances and the big situations to put them away, and we did. And in the Premier League, a goal is never enough.
How frustrating was it to then concede at the time? I think that was Southampton's just second shot on target at that stage in the game.
But they had a shot and a goal. But you still had in the second half that feeling that they were putting us under pressure. We gave too many balls away, especially inside, and forced errors that never give us the continuity that we need in the game.
Once you had conceded the equaliser, there was quite a positive response. Again, you had the opportunities there. We could see, though, it was getting quite emotional in that dugout. Again, was that frustration that you just weren't putting them away?
It's more desire to go and win the game, and that's what we tried. And with the subs, that's what we tried. And so then it wasn't the case.
Your previous 3 matches to this, that you've all won by a 1-goal scoreline. Do you feel maybe that could be an area of concern? You've paid the price there today.
Well, we certainly had the chances to score more goals, and the margin would have been different.
Arsenal, let's not forget, lost at St Mary's last season. Is it, Lee, a sign of how far they've come this season, that he's so frustrated at not winning a game at Southampton?
Yeah, I think one of the things that this team didn't have going back to the start of his tenure was it didn't have the ability to win or draw or grind out results. It was kind of all or nothing. So they would lose a game, then it would be brilliant the week after, and you think, God, this is... And all the Arsenal fans would get, you know, ideas above the station and go, we're going to do this, going to do that, and then they'd have a terrible couple of results away from home or whatever. I think now it's a little bit more settled and you don't get those peaks and troughs. You've got a higher line of quality and sustainability without those big dips. There might be a few bumps in the road. They haven't played, you know, City yet. They might come across a team that they lose to, but you just feel as if they're always in the game, don't you? Even today, you know, I think he would be... At the end of it, I think he's saying he's disappointed straight after the game. I think when he sits back and looks at it and goes, yeah, we missed a bit of a chance, but, you know, 9-1-1, as in wins and draws and losses, he would snap that up at the start of the season. So I think he's got to be content with where the team is right now.
Quick word for the character of Southampton. Good week for them to come back against the leaders as well today.
Yeah, because first half quite passive, didn't really offer too much, but in second half, to be fair, rolled their sleeves up, got in Arsenal's faces, caused them problems, scored a really good goal through Armstrong, and towards the end it was Arsenal that were hanging on. So yeah, Ralph Hasenhüttl will be delighted with the week that he's got and just pulls them a little bit further away from that bottom three.
Very simple game, football always will be. You know, when you're on top, you've got to make it count, because if it stays at 1-0, then you're always likely to run the risk of being pegged back. Simple as that, isn't it? Because they started so well, Arsenal.
They did, Mark. I was working on the game today, and the cameras panned on Arteta at about half an hour in, and I said he must be so content, because Arsenal, honestly, were brilliant. They scored a fantastic goal. Good combination play down that side. You see White and Saka there. The ball from Ben White's a good one.
This is a great finish.
It is. It's
and
he
makes it look easy.
Yeah.
And I've been very critical of Xhaka. A lot of Arsenal fans have as well. But he's absolutely been brilliant for them this year. He really has. You know, captaining the team against Bodo Glimt. Now he's taking it to another level.
Further forward, isn't he,
I know, but Odegaard,
well?
I think, allows that as well. And Partey. Yeah. And that formation in there. But this is a technique.
A hard finish.
To be able to do that.
It's all about timing. You don't put any power on that. It's timing.
And then they should have gone on to win the game, shouldn't they?
Yes.
Really? That's the frustration for Arteta.
That is the frustration, because they played so well against a team that offered nothing apart from long throws, set plays, corners. That's all Southampton had. They were gone after about half an hour, the home side. But Arsenal needed to put them away. A little bit like last week against Leeds, when they didn't put them away and they had to hang on at 1-0 and made it a little bit stressy, a little bit nervy. Just got over the line, didn't today. Because Southampton showed a lot more in the second half, didn't they, in terms of energy? As you say, it was quite direct. But actually, Leanne, the goal they fashioned was an excellent one.
Yeah, and Elyounoussi today was fantastic as well. But I think Gabriel here, I mentioned it before, you know, he's not going to the ball. He's got his arms behind his back. He's too conscious about giving away a penalty, and I get it in this day and age. But I think it's a really good finish from Stuart Armstrong in this situation, because as you can see here, Elyounoussi picks up the ball. Gabriel needs to step out, and Tomiyasu as well. And then it's a good finish in the end, I think. But give credit to Southampton. I think they're a strange club. You know, you don't know what you're going to get on any given day. But at the same time, you know, fair play to Ralph Hasenhüttl. He's had to be patient. There's a young team there. And, you know, they brought in other players as well. They lost Danny Ings to Villa, and they need other players to step up and score goals.
Straight after Xhaka had scored, I mean, almost in the next minute, Arsenal could, on another day, have had a penalty. What's your view on it?
For me, think it's a penalty. I definitely think it is. You know, he's got two arms around Jesus, brings him down. We saw a similar one with Scott McTominay, you know, against Chelsea as well, and it was given here. You can see. I don't think Jesus helps himself, because he needs to go down now. This is when he needs to go down. It sounds, it's a bit theatrical in the end. So that's why I think the referee doesn't give it. But this is the problem with me, with the referees and the lack of consistency. He's all over him. Stonewall penalty for me. Stonewall penalty, Stonewall foul, and it's not given.
Yeah, I agree.
Jesus had a really good start at Arsenal, but today was just that bit of his game, maybe, which is not quite as consistent as it needs to be in front of goal. I mean, not the penalty, but other chances that he had.
Just off, and it's difficult to try and put yourself in what the players are going through at the minute, where they're playing every 3 days. Yeah. It's hard work, it's hard graft. The Premier League's relentless. You've got to be on it, you've got to be fit, and you've got to keep, you know, refueling all the time and playing at a really high level. And he probably just looked half a yard off it. He was up against three real muscly, strong defenders today. You know, three guys that got right in and amongst him, didn't give too much space. I wouldn't criticise him too much, because you know the type of player he is. And at one point in the game, I think I said he looks electric when he had the ball on the outside the box on the angle, spun the defender inside, chopped back onto his left. In the end, he hit the side net, and he still looked good, but he missed for him 1 or 2 good chances.
Yeah, he's been brilliant for Arsenal, hasn't he? I think he went there straight away. He's got conviction. He's exactly what they need. And that's my only worry, that I just don't think Arsenal have that strength in depth. If he gets injured, and Nketiah, Martinelli's been good this season, but there's a higher reliance upon Gabriel Jesus.